teaser trailer is medium. I mean, it's great to see Mando and the child again, and I'm very excited about season 2, but it seems unusually muted for the ad campaign overall for the second season of a very popular show. The one bright spot in Star Wars. And I believe that's because of the scoop I reported to you in my trailer reaction. I think that's made the whole Lucasfilm team very hesitant, and they're really not quite sure how to proceed because I think they you know, as I said in my reaction, Star Wars doesn't need any more drama. And they're getting it not just with what I reported, but also Gina Carano is having some J.K. Rowling type fights on Twitter. Rosario Dawson's actually getting sued, in her personal life for an altercation she had, I believe with a member of the transgender community. So it's like, come on, man, So I think though, but I think that I think that this should be a little bit more of an aggressive campaign. And the only reason I can think of that it's not is, again, because of what I reported to you in my trailer reaction, link down below if you haven't seen that. So we're going to break this down shot by shot. There's not a lot here. There's not a single money shot in the entire trailer, which I think is very interesting. As I told you, and as others have reported on this one, they held the trailer back a little bit because they weren't pleased with it. But it's hard to believe that they were pleased with this. It's unusual for a trailer not to have one money shot, not one money shot. That's like, a really, like, the one you would put in the poster frame, the one that gets people excited. Although you could argue that the money shot is Sasha Banks, and she trended. And I have to say, she did trend, so that's effective. Some of us didn't recognize her, but for you WWE fans, you spotted her like that. So that's fantastic. So we'll talk about her when we get to her. All right, here we go. So we're coming across this planet, and it's very peaceful. I was really enjoying this. And you can see what planet looks like Earth in the background there. But when I did this for the shot by shot, I recognized that this ship is in distress. You can see that one of the engines is blinking on and off, or sputtering at the very least, and the back of the starship is open. So it looks like it might have been abandoned. Abandoned ship, baby Yoda, let's go! And maybe they find themselves on the planet down below. But I thought that was a cool way to, I thought they were just cruising, but it looks like they got a bruising. All right, here we go. It's fun to have fun with these shows. But it's very eerie. I like it. It's like, ooh, what happened to you guys? So there's Lucasfilm. And we have voiceover from the last season where the weapons maker is like, you got to go take this kid to his people. And he's like, are you kidding me? Where are they? And she's like, I don't know. Go find them. Season 2, baby. You need something to do. He's like, fine. So you have this nice, I love the different planets in Star Wars. It's always fun to visit these different worlds. I love the practical effects on Baby Yoda. He sure looks like a puppet standing in the snow, doesn't he? It's delightful. That's the charm that original Yoda had. And in the prequels, when they CGI'd him, he lost that charm. So whatever Yoda and the child, whatever race they are, they're a race of puppet people. And we love them for it. Good thing Baby Yoda has that heavy coat on. Mando's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. He's like, I'm turning into Launchpad McQuack here. I crash all the time. Is that his ship behind them? Or is that a X-Wing? I think it's his ship. All right. Different markings, I believe. So they're on some kind of water planet. You can see that one alien there has like a water backpack. I guess maybe they're carrying an animal there. That's pretty funny. We're seeing, that's a little bit like Umbrella Academy that reminds me of there. And this is like what, the Davy Jones planet? They all have squid heads. Good for the VFX team. They can just make those helmets and stick them on people. They're like, here you go. Have a great time. So there. So the weapons maker is telling him, you must go find, there tells a time of when the Mandalorian fought a race of sorcerer people, the Jedi. And then we see this mysterious figure who, does seem to have orange skin. So some of us were like, oh, is that Ahsoka? Although Sabine Wren also has orange skin. But some of you were like, that's not Rosario Dawson. That's WWE star Sasha Banks, who tweeted about the trailer this morning because, to confirm that she's in it. And, a lot of you got very excited to see her involvement. So great casting coup there. I do appreciate the stunt casting that they're able to do in this series. And, Gina Carano is also, of course, a fighter. I think she's MMA, right? I'm not big in the fighting world. I don't know a lot about the fighting world. But, you already have one person from that group. It makes sense you would bring in another. If I were a wrestler agent, I'd be like, you already hired Gina Carano. Why not my client? And Sasha Banks, that's worked out for her. But Sabine Wren, if she is Sabine Wren, that's a choice role. That, of course, is a Dave Filoni character from his animated universe. And she wielded the Darksaber, which made its fantastic debut in The Mandalorian at the end of last season. So she probably is very invested in its current status with Moff Gideon. So she is also, though, from the planet Mandalore. So there she is, not wearing a helmet. Pedro Pascal's probably like, what the hell? She's wearing this cloak. It looks like a Jedi cloak. Now, there was some question amongst fans as to whether or not Sabine Wren was Force sensitive when she was on the animated series. She did have some training with Ezra Bridger, who's actually a Jedi, who I hear rumors of will show up here as well. And when Sabine Wren is around, surely Ezra Bridger isn't far behind because, they're very close. And she's wielded a lightsaber. Although Moff Gideon's not a Jedi and he's walking around with it too. So it's, I don't know. Is that a Jedi cloak? Maybe because it's black. It's, it's from the dark side. I don't know. That could be an interesting development as well. Who knows what's happened to Sabine Wren all these years later. But she's one of, they seem to imply from the voiceover that she is a Jedi. And she pulls a Batman. There's a lot of Batman references in this, by the way. But there's not quite yet. All right, so he's like, are you kidding me? And so he's like, you got to be kidding me. I don't want to deal with all the sorcerer crap. Because she disappears. He's like, I didn't sign up to be Commissioner Gordon. And he's like, I'd be looking at Baby Yoda and I'd be like, can't you force sense her out and tell me where she is? Baby Yoda's so cute. He looks up at him. He's really come to trust Mando. You see him looking at him so many times, like a baby or a very cute dog, so many times during the trailer being like, what's happening? What's our move? Mando's like, getting too old for this shit. Okay. I love this shot. It reminds me like they should cross ships with the ship from Tenet in that trailer, right? They're like, how you doing? How you doing? What's up? So they're on this they're pirates. This is the pirate episode. That's a filthy, filthy ship. Wow, they're not sealing those barrels tight enough. Baby Yoda's so cute. I hope he gets a name this season so we can call him, he's not actually Baby Yoda, but that's what we like to call him. He's the child. I want him to have a name. And cute little new outfits. I love X-Wings. So I'm so happy to see more starships and spaceships in this because those are some of my favorite scenes in Star Wars. In fact, the third act of Rogue One is like one of my favorite things of all time, that whole aerial battle. I just think it's phenomenal. But are they escorting him? You'll see that that's not the case because there they go. They're chasing him through the clouds. That's gorgeous. Isn't it amazing this whole show is shot on a soundstage and with VFX? It's really incredible what they can do. They use a video game engine, and it is a little bit like video games. That's very cool. That's so beautiful. Baby Yoda's like, woo, I'm having such a great time. So, lots of vehicles. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the subtitle for Mando Season 2. I think that's Mando on there. It's a little blurry when you go shot by frame, so I wasn't quite sure. So they're racing across the desert. There are our old friends who look like they're doing pretty well. They certainly have cleaned their outfits up. All sparkly. Let's see here. Grief Cargo looks particularly official today. Although they haven't rebuilt the town, as you can see. It's still a mess. All right. So there you see a TIE fighter taking off. And I actually saw some comments that this is the first time that's ever been shown in live action. I think it looks really cool. I never thought that they would kind of like condense the X-Wings when they parked. I mean, if you have to get a ladder to get up there, it could be a little taller. But it gives them more maneuverability. It makes them more like X-Wings, so I don't know how cool that is. And if they can adjust their wings, why haven't they ever in the past in aerial battles? That's an interesting question as well. All right. Like all the times they get like blown up when they can't go through a space that's like the right size. But they can make themselves different sizes. All right, they're like, where was that button? Damn it. So I do love Stormtroopers. I just love them so much. And this is great. So Stormtroopers get some toys too. I love the way this guy, look at that, he does like a standing dismount off the side of, maybe they're just joyriding. They're like, we don't even have a mission. I did love Jason Sudeikis, and I forgot the other actor. I love that guy too. I forgot his name, who did the cameo at the end. They punch Baby Yoda. That was great stuff. I love Stormtroopers. That's why John Boyega, even though he was a Stormtrooper, not a Jedi, it still could have been an interesting story if they bothered to do anything with it. So they're like motorcycles, a lot of balancing out. Mando underwater he's still not taking the helmet off. Pedro's like, I'm actually underwater. And they're like, nope. Because I don't think that thing's airtight. That's really pretty. The clarity on this is gorgeous. Oh, I guess that ship maybe he gets put in the brig. Stupid pirate ship. All right, and then he has his jetpack again. I don't know if he's practicing with it or what, or if he's actually going to take some guys on. Love the jetpack. Classic Mandalorian. And then he gets his Batman on. He's hung someone upside down from a light pole. He's like, let me leave a note on you. Get the full thing going on. And he's like, no, the child only must stay with me at all times. And I think that's great. As I said in my trailer reaction, he's the best single dad in the galaxy. And I say that in jest, but I mean it. I think it's great to focus on dads. I think dads are very important. And I think it's great to showcase, there's always so much focus on single mothers, as there should be, but there are all types of single parents. And here's a single dad doing his best. I'll be shocked if he actually hands Baby Yoda over to anybody. The bond is too strong. So here he's at a boxing match. That's fantastic. Very Mandalorian. Look at that. They got eat your heart out, dude. We have shields too. And that alien looks like we've seen them in the past in the Star Wars universe. So I always love those callbacks, those old school callbacks. So here he's having some kind of meeting here. I don't love that mask. That looks too much clearly like a mask. And he's like, the baby stays with me at all time. He's like, that's what I've heard. So we'll take him by force. And they're like, clearly you have not heard of the Mandalorian. So he gets his whistling birds ready to go. You can see those are, of course, supposed to be used sparingly, but this does seem like an emergency situation. And I love that the child has been hanging out with Mando enough now that he knows, time to close up. I kind of wish that he would help. I love he would be the Robin to Mando's Batman. But, Batman loves putting kids in danger. Here we go. But maybe he's like, you can't really control the whistling birds. I don't want to use up all my energy. So while those deploy, I'll just make it easier for you there, Mando. Whoever developed, something so simple as just the floating space carriage. It's just so fantastic. I love it. I also love that he's smart enough to push the button himself, and he knows about that. Baby Yoda's getting, more self-aware. I love it. And so we have a bunch of stuff happen in the dark, which I hope happens in the show. And he takes out that guy. And I'm really excited for Sam Hargrave to direct the action sequences here as the second unit director. He directed Extraction. He did second unit work and stunt work on a lot of the Marvel movies. And that's a great reason to have Sasha Banks too, by the way, that she might have some really fantastic action sequences. That could be just fabulous. And he's like, this is the way. And then we're done already. And we get a new logo this season. The color is blue. And of course, Baby Yoda has been added to the picture. So yeah, interesting that there was no really big thing there. And I told you, I think that they're holding themselves back because of what's going on. Just rip that Band-Aid off, Star Wars. Just rip it off. All right, so what do you think? What do you think of the trailer? What do you think of the teaser? How does it look to you? Are you excited for Sasha Banks, or do you want her to be Sabine Wren? What do you think of all the additional, the X-wings and the fighter, and the TIE fighters, and the jetpack, and the speedsters for the Stormtroopers? What looks coolest to you? To me, it just still feels the most like Star Wars of anything that Disney has done, and so they got that going for them. And I just think it proves that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really are the future of this brand. All right, so what do you think? Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more episodes right now.